Good morning, YouTube. I am down here in Rockaway Beach area, just north of Branson, south of Springfield. Really beautiful location on a passive solar house with all ICF walls and a light deck roof. This is actually overhanging light deck roof, cantilevering, which is pretty neat. And I called it light deck. This is Insul deck. I will have a few videos coming out in the next couple weeks. I've got a build deck that just got poured in Nashville. I'll get into why I'm really excited about that in a second. The main difference in light deck and Insul deck is light deck's seam would be in the middle, and these seams are down in the bottom of the beam. That's just how the difference. You can see the seam right there, past that rebar. So the cool thing about Insul deck is if this was light deck, they're all thinner, and you build top hats to make them taller, to make the beams taller, to make bigger spans possible. Insul deck comes in different thicknesses, and so you don't have to put a top hat, you just order it bespoke. My job is X span, they give you X thickness, and you just have to set them. My Amish boys actually came down here and set them. I didn't want to commit them to the entire job because they'd be a little bit flaky, and it's a good bit further from home than we like to be. I'm probably 40 minutes south of Springfield right now, and the boys live about 25 minutes east of Springfield, so it'll be an hour from their house. You see Austin over there, the guy in the white shirt's the homeowner, and when he called me from YouTube, I said, man, this is a little far away for me to commit to the entire job, because obviously this entire structure is sitting on an ICF wall that Austin has already done, and on top of that, this is just a massive job, and I didn't want to commit my guys going into winter because, you know, they're not a full-time crew. They may be surgeons at their craft, but when we get strung out on work, it stresses everybody out and it's not worth it. So Austin's done a fantastic job. What I want to get into though, so this is Insul deck. Light deck is a very similar product. They come full length. You order them up to 40-foot lengths. They ship. The shipping can be fairly prohibitive. Insul deck tends to come in a little cheaper than light deck. But it just very much depends on your location, because Insul deck is made Southeast US, and I think they make it in Canada as well, whereas light deck's all made in Iowa. So, you know, when you're shipping those products, it can be very, very expensive to ship, which can be prohibitive. It can add dollars, plural, per square foot to your overall cost. Jerry down in Nashville, you remember him from the basketball coach's pool that we did back last fall that he's getting ready to eco-finish now? Jerry did build deck the other day. Cool thing about build deck, it's very much like am deck. It comes in 2-foot sections. They snap together with 3 male and female plugs, kind of like these round plugs here that you put in to fill in so the chases are clear, but it has 3 of them, and they plug into each other, and you build whatever length you need. They come completely modular. They come on pallets, making the shipping a bunch cheaper. And the really cool thing, guys, they make them in Springfield, Missouri, which means where I'm located, I can go pick them up with no freight, so the only freight you're paying is what it takes me to get them to you. That's game changing. The big thing was when Build Deck came out, some of the engineers said you had to brace it every 2 feet, which means all of your rentable bracing and everything else is too wide, which is terrible. But I talked to the owner. You remember from the video back at World of Concrete with the owner and one of his engineers, they're like, that's not right. You can totally brace it farther apart. So Jerry just did a storm shelter in Nashville, poured it yesterday. So after this video comes out, probably the next week, he's gonna get me a bunch of Google Drive stuff where I can download his pour. I actually built the walls with him. He poured the walls and the ceiling at the same time. Very ballsy, puckery move. He did it. It went great. He sent me photos yesterday. I haven't seen the videos yet, but this is pretty elaborate. We had this fully engineered, so you see all these stirrups and stuff. They're not always required depending on, you know, the job. Guys, I know a lot of you guys have questions about concrete roofs and different things. This house is very much designed to be nearly net zero with the passive solar. That's south. So you got the overhang, so in the summer when the sun is high in the sky, the sun won't hit the windows because it'll be coming from here down and it'll hit, boom, you know, it'll go boom. But in the winter, when the sun gets lower in the sky, it shines through the windows and helps to warm the house. Super cool designs. I'm actually heading up to Woodstock, New York in a couple weeks to help one of my guys that's been to training go to a pool, finalize a big pool job he's got, but he is a passive solar expert up in the upstate New York area. So very excited to shoot some video with him. Austin Mooneyham on site. He said he wasn't going to be here this morning because he had a big power screed thing to do, but he got canceled because of a little bit of clouds. Those commercial guys are wusses compared to us on the residential side. But Austin, what do you got? You got a cantilever happening here. What's the pucker factor on that?
Pretty high. It's been sitting here for a minute.
Yeah.
Not overly excited about it, but it is what it is.
That's how you sooner or later you just pull the trigger, right?
Yes, it's Insul deck's good product.
I'll get a lot more video. I'll get a lot more views if this thing just goes
I guarantee
all kind of bad.
I'm sure.
I'm not rooting for that because I want you to do good.
I'm kicking your ass now.
Anyway, guys.
Mad Boat Mojo.
No, you got this, man. You got this. It's gonna be good.
We got good guys here.
Yes, you got the A team here. I'm gonna take you guys inside, show you a quick tour because once concrete shows up, not that I don't trust you, but I'm not gonna be under there.
Fair enough.
All right, guys. So Austin's using the big boy bracing. You remember us using this at Coulter's? A lot of this is actually the same bracing. It just went from that job to this job, which is helpful because normally you got to have this stuff shipped in from all over the country when you use Dara or whoever to rent it. It gets a little pricey. In a room this high, you could use lumber. You could use 2x6s and stuff, but this lowers the pucker factor. I mean, these are 10,000 pound scaffolds, their weight rating, so they're really heavy duty. You notice these are like a lot bigger, more robust than your typical like masonry scaffolds. So this is, like I said, you notice the window's running all the way down this side, but there's an overhang here that's designed very intentionally that, we're going into spring right now and the sun is getting higher in the sky, and soon when it starts getting hot out, it'll be up here in the hot part of the day so it doesn't actually hit the windows. But in the winter, the sun, a lot of guys when they're designing these, they have to do a solar study. Computers are wonderful, and you basically position the house the direction it is in real life on your property, and a lot of these architectural programs will actually throw the sun in the sky and show you how it's going to affect in the house, how it's going to affect outside of the house. And a lot of the big fancy houses I've done have had those solar studies done beforehand. Oh, look, pump truck's here. So Austin is doing one little thing, something to think about, guys. Insul deck, because it's got the seams in the beams, even when you seal them up, it will drip and it'll be like a Portland slurry. Depending on what's going on the floor, you can end up with little, turds of concrete stuck to the floor. So beforehand, because he's not going to want to do this during, he's going to wet down this entire slab just to make it less likely that it's going to stick before we can get in here, later today or tomorrow and really scrape and clean up. But anyway, guys, stay tuned for the pour. It's about go time. All right, guys. I know a lot of you guys always like to talk mix, design, and all that. So what they've got here, running at about a 5 slump, is 3/8 aggregate, 3/8 rock. It's like a stamp mix, 4,000 PSI. You can kind of see that small rock in there. Running a real nice consistency out of the pump. Filling up all the beams, and then he's going back behind and vibrating those beams out. I've told them, we kind of had a plan of attack. Told them to be very careful because remember that's overhanging. So they're putting a lot of weight out there and it's holding on nothing but screws. Hey guys, we're mid-pour here. Everything's going quite smoothly. I'm here with the homeowner, Don Stenberg. He's, me and him have been talking off and on for a year and a half or so. He watched a lot of my videos. Inspired him to DIY the ICF, the Fox Blocks walls.
Yep.
Used the Zonson Zuckel system.
Worked great.
And now he brought in Austin, he brought in a little professional help on the roof because of the pucker factor, right?
Yeah, and it was taking too long for me to do on my own, so I wanted it to go faster and a little scary.
Great, so this house, you've designed it to be passive solar?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, I designed the house, the layout of it and everything, and so, yep, so.
Did you do any kind of solar survey or solar study, or did you just know that's south and you basically?
Yeah, I have a degree in mechanical engineering actually, so
that helps.
There's like solar trackers you can find online, and so yeah, you can figure out exactly where the sun's going to be, at this winter and summer solstice, and you kind of go from there and just figure it out.
Perfect. I was explaining that from I was down in the window showing people when the sun's up here in the summer when it's hot, it's a shade. When it's down low in the winter, it's coming in the window. That's the goal of passive solar, is to get the gain when you want it and shade when you don't.
Exactly.
And with this thermal mass up here, you're not having any thermal bridging from the heat coming down, and
Yep.
it's a fortress.
Yeah,
So,
hopefully it'll stand up to tornadoes, fires, you know, mold, termites, anything that nature can throw at it. Hopefully we'll be able to make it through. So.
absolutely, this thing will be here long after us.
That's
Probably.
the goal, yep.
Yeah. And another thing, guys, a lot of you guys always hit me when we're doing these concrete roofs. What are you putting on the roof? He's got Zypex in this mud. I told Austin it's 4,000 PSI 3/8 rock. Yeah, so I told him that, but I didn't know when I said that in a video a few minutes ago that it does have Zypex. And they're gonna power trowel this and try to get it as tight as possible. So they're gonna leave it like that with the assumption that someday concrete does two things. It gets hard and it cracks. If it ever does leak, they're gonna TPO the roof. That's
Yeah.
the simplest, easiest solution for a nice long life.
Absolutely, but we kind of want to test it out. We've also got some crack control fibers. So, I mean, you know, between crack control fibers and Zypex, probably it'll still leak, but I don't know. You never know.
I love that you're aware of what can happen and you're ready for it, but you're gonna go and see what happens. I'll probably check back in when 28 days they pull the scaffolds. We'll see what it's doing. We'll check it out, bring you more content with that. But Don, I'm happy to see these cantilevers holding up beautifully, and you're gonna have an awesome house.
Yeah, thank you.
Sweet, man.
Thanks.
Okay, guys, we just had a small blowout. One of the beams gave way. Sorry, guys, I'll get out of your way. I just wanted to show that real quick. You can see right there, small hole. I'm gonna climb down and show you. The one lucky thing is that's in the overhang. So it's outside, so they didn't make a mess in the house yet. So I'm gonna go down there and show you how we fix something like that. It's honestly not gonna end up being a big deal. So Marshall's putting the foam in, trying to figure out which way is which. That appears to be right, Marshall. Nope, it goes the other way, completely exactly the opposite way. There you go. Yeah, just do the best you can with that one and then just screw that thing on there tight. Be a little messy looking, but the insulation will still be there and all will be well. All you got to do is lift that up and get a screw in the other side. Okay, guys, so Marshall fixed this up. They had no more problems in this pour. I had to get to several other jobs. This past Monday, but everything went super smooth. The guys killed it. They got those power trowels up on there and really did a good job. And the homeowner kept it wet. He did a wet cure on it. He's done a really good job of keeping it wet. There's not a single crack in this roof thus far. Austin was nice enough to go over there the next day and shoot these videos for me. So I haven't actually seen this thing complete. You can see there where it's drying how the beams are drinking the water more rapidly than the part with the foam closer to the surface. So it's a really good idea if you have the time or a method to keeping this kind of concrete wet as long as you can. It definitely increases, speeds up the cure and gets you a much better cured product. Gives you a much stronger cure. So yeah, guys, this one went really good. I hope to be back down there a few times during his build. The homeowner is a really interesting guy who is really doing a really cool project that is very similar to what a lot of you guys reach out to me about. And these concrete roofs, I mean, with Insul deck and build deck being so shippable, guys, it's going to really change the game. I can't wait to bring you that.